you're not a great offer, so I'm like, it could have been anybody.
All right, ready? All right, here we go. I'd like to call the Town of Eastchester Town Board Reorganization Meeting of January 4th, 2022 to order. With that said, I'd like to, let's all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call on Judge Salonicho to come up and administer the oath of office to Teresa V. Nicholson.
Who's going to hold the Bible? The left hand on the Bible, right hand up. I, Teresa Nicholson,
I, Teresa Nicholson,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
my
my duties in the office
Council Member of the Town of Eastchester,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Teresa.
Thank you, sir.
Teresa, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, I'll say them right here. Very brief. I just want to thank all of you, residents of Eastchester, Town of Eastchester, Village of Tuckahoe, and Bronxville, for giving me this opportunity to serve for another 4 years. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call on Judge Salonicho to administer the oath of office for Luigi V. Marcoccia.
Going to hold the Bible. Left hand on the Bible, flip the right hand. I, Luigi Marcoccia,
I, Luigi Marcoccia,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as a council member of the Town of Eastchester
my duties as council member of the Town of Eastchester
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations, Councilman.
you.
Please join us.
The Bible.
Finally, I'd like to
I got it.
call on Judge Salonicho to administer the office
Okay.
for Anthony S. Colavita. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
If I could just say,
Sorry.
thank you. I just want to have a few words, prepared remarks here. So I would like to begin by thanking my wife Pia, my 4 boys, Vito, Nicolino, Giancarlo, and Marco, for being here and for supporting me as I run for office and during my time in office. I would also like to thank my dad Vito, my mom Angela, my sister Sylvia for all their help and support as well. Also a big thank you to our campaign volunteers, friends, and family that helped make our election wins possible. To Supervisor Colavita and Councilwoman Nicholson, congratulations on your victories as well. I look forward to working with you to ensure the Town of Eastchester reaches its highest potential. I am also so grateful to the residents of the Town of Eastchester and the villages of Tuckahoe and Bronxville for voting for me in last November's election. I really appreciate the overwhelming vote of confidence I received. and I look forward to working as hard as I possibly can to do my part in making Eastchester an even better place to live and work. Over the past several months, I have had the opportunity and privilege of meeting so many of our residents while going door to door and at various events. I look forward to meeting many more over the coming months and sharing thoughts and ideas on how to improve our great town. I have also had the opportunity to attend many community and civic association gatherings. We certainly have very nice and welcoming neighbors in our town. I have also had the pleasure to get to know many of our town employees and volunteers. I can tell you for sure that we have wonderful residents, excellent boards, and a very diligent staff. Simply put, Eastchester is a great town. Over the past couple of months, I spent many hours working on this year's town budget. It's never an easy process, but this year we were able to keep our taxes flat year over year, so no tax increase. This is important as our residents deal with inflationary pressure on many household staples, at the gas pump, and with rising home heating costs. Because of prudent budgeting by Supervisor Colavita and the town board, we have kept taxes flat this year and have been able to fully comply with the New York State 2% property tax cap since its inception. The entire town board works very hard to keep our finances strong, spending in check, while maintaining the services we have all come to enjoy. I thank my fellow board members for their hard work and dedication to our town. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sheila. I am also so proud that we have taken steps to help protect our kids by passing new anti-vaping laws, being the first town to opt out of sales and public consumption of marijuana, adding new school resource officers, and adding a new teen program to help keep kids occupied and out of trouble. I also hope and pray for a quick end to this pandemic and a return to normalcy once again. Although with this current surge in infections, it seems like there's no end in sight, I remain, and we all remain, confident that if we stick together and with neighbors helping neighbors, we will get through these tough times and emerge stronger. So let's do what we can to help each other, and please stay safe. Going forward, it's imperative for us to work with our residents and our many civic associations to identify areas of improvement and to work through issues of concern. I want the public to know I am very accessible via phone or email, and I will make myself available to meet with anyone that wants to discuss local town issues. Thank you so much. Thank you again, and I will do my very best to serve this town as best I can. Thank you.
Good job.
Great. And now, I'd like to call on Judge Salanitro to administer the oath of office to Anthony S. Colavita.
Hey, left hand on, left hand on the Bible.
better
raise your-
this way, huh?
Yeah, either way.
I didn't learn.
I, Anthony S. Calavita,
I, Anthony S.
do
Colavita,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties as supervisor of the town of Eastchester
the duties of supervisor of the town of Eastchester
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations. It's all yours.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Don't want Joe getting any ideas here. First of all, I want to thank Fred Salanitro, Judge Salanitro, for performing this oath for all of us. Thank you very much. Fred and I served together on the town board for many years, and then Fred got smart and became a judge. And he's been very successful at it this whole time. I'd like to thank the residents of Eastchester, Tucker, and Bronxville for returning me to the position of town supervisor. It is my honor to serve each of you as supervisor, and I have the best interest of this town and its two villages at heart in every decision that we make up here. and I pledge to continue that hard work and effort for the benefit of each of you. I also want to let everyone know that this town board collectively does a magnificent job. They all work very, very hard. They have always and will continue to prioritize the needs of the people of Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville above all things. In a few minutes, we're going to appoint dozens of resident volunteers to various committees and boards, and you don't have to stay for that section if you don't want to. But it is important to note that that has been the cornerstone of this administration, and that's volunteerism, where my motto from the very beginning was making Eastchester better together with my fellow residents. That's the way it was from day one, and it continues right through this next term. Our residency is engaged and participatory, and it's very transparent, as you can see. And once you get involved with town government, you kind of get the bug and you really want to continue to help out. That's why we've had such longevity on all of our boards. But I want to thank them in advance of their appointment and thank those that are already serving that have been appointed previously. I am very proud of our financial position in the town of Eastchester as well. Town outside residents saw a 0% tax increase. Town-wide residents a 0.5%, when if you do the math, adds up to be maybe a cup of coffee every fiscal quarter. Our average over the last 4 years has been less than 1%. We have a AAA Moody's bond rating, which is the highest rating you can get. We're in the top 3% of best fiscally managed towns by declaration of the Comptroller from the state of New York. We have never exceeded the tax levy cap, as Councilman Marcoccia had mentioned. We have strong reserves, and our debt ratio is excellent. We're going to continue to consolidate departments and positions. We have 30% fewer employees today than we had when I first was started, which means less salary, less benefits, and everyone doing more with a little bit less, which is the function and goal of government. Also, we're going to continue to share services and jointly purchase with the school districts and the 2 villages. We enjoy a very good working relationship with our school districts and our villages, and that will continue during this administration. We're also going to continue to deliver exceptional services through our many departments. Keeping our police department fully funded and fully staffed was important. We'll be swearing in new police officers that come out of the academy in a few months, and we have a transfer in from another department, which we'll be swearing in shortly. As Councilman Marcoccia mentioned, we're going to continue the student resource officers in our schools, and we are definitely very proud of being the first town in Westchester County to come out with the anti-marijuana law and the anti-vaping laws as well. We also have resolved our contracts with both police unions, and we've implemented recommendations from the Police Reinvention Committee that occurred over the last summer. We also want to continue our status as the 16th safest town in the country, something that we lay at the foot of our Eastchester police officers who have served us with the best of intentions and with the highest effort and highest degree of accountability. It's supposed to snow on Friday, right? Everyone's bummed out about snow on Friday. But, if you live in the town of Eastchester, you don't have to worry because our exceptional highway department will take care of all of that snow before you even wake up and get into your car. They will serve the town of Eastchester again in this next administration as best they can. They'll do a magnificent job, and if you ask any FedEx guy or UPS delivery man, they'll tell you that Eastchester roads are always in impeccable condition. They're paved, they're leaf-free, and they're snow and ice-free. I could go on about our departments for quite a time, but the key is that they deliver great services and keep our high quality of life in the town of Eastchester. That's really the most important thing to take away, is their effort and what we provide and maintain for our residents. Moving forward, no one could ever accuse this administration of being a caretaker administration. I mean, we have completely improved our ball fields, our parks, Lake Isle Country Club, Town Hall, all of our various fields that we have, and improvements on those fields. The field house at Handle Field, for example, and the like. Programmatically, we made tons of improvements. Technologically, we've made a lot of improvements, and financially, we've made a lot of improvements. But there's still much to do. For example, we are presently working on the dam restoration project for Lake Innisfree. We are also going to work on and continue to work on the Hutchinson River Flood Mitigation Project. And we're working those two with the City of New Rochelle, the Village of Scarsdale, and the County of Westchester. And County Exec Latimer called our office earlier today to wish us congratulations, but of course, because of COVID, he's going to remain in his own place. We are also applying for funding to try to mitigate some of the stormwater flooding that we're experiencing in town. There are certain pockets of town that just don't seem to be able to get rid of water at a sufficient rate. So we're going to be applying for various grants to make that happen, make that a reality for people who live in those neighborhoods. Also at Lake Isle, we're finally down to the punch list on our community center. Thank heavens, we're just about done that. We want to get those seniors in there, get them all in there, having a great time that they've come to know and enjoy for many, many years. We also are installing a new playground at the kiddie pool area. It'll be larger, it'll have a rubberized base and new apparatus, which will be a lot of fun for the kids. We're also working on the irrigation system, and finally, the year-round pool we've talked about for many, many years. We've commissioned feasibility studies for both of those two projects to ascertain what it would cost, how best to go about doing it, and then we're going to put that into effect during the course of this year. Also, we started the public review. We will start the public review process for our updated sign ordinance and some other changes to the zoning code, some of which pertain to more mundane things like our escrow account and whatnot, but a lot of it may also pertain to the development of the Lord & Taylor property. We're working very closely with the HBG group, and we expect them to make an application within the next 6 months or so. And of course, it'll be important for us to thoroughly vet that out. We're also working with the county on a new management IMA for Upper and Lower Scout Field, which will include the improvements which have since expired. Also, our food scrap program has launched, and we are pricing now the tennis courts renovation, or tennis court renovations at Leawood Park. And we hope to include perhaps some pickleball and maybe a little additional basketball courts as well, and a host of other activities that we have initiated. And also, I want to just conclude by saying that, I thanked our residents, I thanked our volunteers. I'd like to thank all the campaign volunteers that worked so hard to return us to office. They did an excellent job. I also want to thank my town board members again. Their insight, their effort, their drive, and their determination is really unmatched. And it's a pleasure to work with all of them. We don't always agree on everything, but we certainly resolve to compromise, and we have the best minds, I think, really working hard for the benefit of everybody in Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville. I also want to thank our town employees. For their hard work, have done so much, and as I said earlier, we've knocked down the staff quite a bit, so all of them have done more, and they've done it without complaint. Also, throughout the COVID period, they were excellent. They were exceptional. They all put up with all of the crazy executive orders and everything that came in from Albany, and all the public that came in. They did a magnificent job, and I want to thank them because they make me look good, and that's not an easy thing to do. I also want to thank my family who's here, my brother and my mother and father at home watching this for obvious reasons. I have 2 kids in Connecticut. I have 1 in Texas and 1 in Vermont. But also with us this evening is my Aunt Ann, who gave us the family Bible. She actually said, "This is yours now." And she also said, because she was tired of bringing it here and tired of sitting through this stuff. So, that's my aunt for you. But of course, we accept the Bible with welcome arms. And also I want to thank, of course, my bride, Susan. Thank you very much for sharing me with the town and all that you helped me with on many, many an occasion. And also joining us here tonight is Jillian, her daughter, my daughter. I don't call my kids stepkids, because that's like a separation. I call them my children. So Jillian is here also with JC, and Madeline, Sue's mother, and Joseph, of course, and we are very thankful that they're here. And, with that, I'll close by saying that we really do live in a great town. I think Luigi said it best. This really is a great town. And there's much to do, and we will get that done, and we'll do it all together because, we're all in this together. Whether it's, the schools or whether it's the villages or the town, this is all one giant town, and we have to make this town we live in better together. There is so much more that unites us than divides us, so we're going to proceed together to continue to improve the town of Eastchester because it really is a great place to live. And that concludes my State of the Town speech. And what we'll do now at this point is I'll ask for a simple adjournment for maybe 2 minutes so our gracious guests can leave and we can go on with the 550 appointments we're going to make that'll take quite some time on our agenda. All right? Okay, thank you all.
We don't need this.
Check, 1, 2. Okay, thank you, Gary. Okay, we're going to move forward with our appointments and designations. The first is the appointment of the following. From January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, Louis J. Rada as position of Town Attorney, Robert Tedisco, position of Deputy Town Attorney, Dawn Donovan, position of Controller, Daniela Cavallo, position of Court Clerk, Carmela Civetta to the position of Court Clerk, and Lisa Pinto to the position of Confidential Assistant to the Supervisor. Anyone care to make a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the appointment or reappointment, effective 1/1/22 through 12/31/23, of Linda Laird and myself to the position of Marriage Officer. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second.
Second.
Okay. This, by the way, is one of the nicest things we get to do.
Very nice.
It's one of the more pleasurable things that we get to do as marriage officers. Anyway, so please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the reappointment of Philip Rosenstock to the position of Town Constable, effective 1/1/22 through 12/31/23.
So moved?
Second?
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the reappointment of the Police Advisory Board, effective 1/1/22 through 12/31/23, for Reverend Carl Maiello, John Rowland, and Michael Casino, and I'm designating Carl Maiello as the chairman of the Police Advisory Board, effective same period. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the appointment of Robert Ponzini as CSEA and Police Hearing Officer. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
I also want to just recognize Preston Scher's family on their loss. Preston was a judge, was a terrific guy, and unfortunately, he passed away in this last year. Okay, regarding the Planning Board, we have the reappointments of James Bonanno and Anthony Giacobbe to the positions of members of the Planning Board for the period 1/1/22 through 12/31/26, and I'm designating Mr. Bonanno as the chairman of the Planning Board for the same period. Someone care to make a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next are reappointments to the Zoning Board, effective 1/1/22 through 12/31/26, for Mark DeMarco and Alan Pilla, and we're designating Alan Pilla as the chairman of the Zoning Board for the same period.
So moved?
Second?
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the reappointments of the Architectural Review Board for the period of January 1st, 22 through 12/31/23. Enda McIntyre, Laura Raffiani, Carlos R. Garcia, Jennifer Nemisek, Silvio Luca, and alternate member Judy Blau. And we're asking, designating Laura Raffiani as the chair of the ARB for the same period, and further recommending the reappointment of Judy Blau as an alternate to the Architecture Review Board, effective the same period. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second?
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the Recreation Advisory Board, Mr. Alex Del Bracco and John DiArco for the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2026.
So moved?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the Cable Television Advisory Committee, which will be very busy as the Verizon and Cablevision contracts or Altice contracts are up. That's, we're seeking the appointment of Keith Bloomfield, Nicholas Dater, and Steve Altamura for the period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/22, and we're designating Steve Altamura as the chairman of the Cable Television Advisory Committee for the same period. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have the Committee for the Disabled, and this is for the period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/22. Jennifer McNamee, Fran Clark, and Florence Coluris. And we're designating Jennifer McNamee as the chairperson of said committee for the same period.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is for the Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee for the period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/22. Ellen Del Cole, Charlie Gallinick, Thomas Fix, John Walzer, and Donato Vaccaro. And we're designating Ellen Del Cole as the chairwoman of the Traffic and Parking Advisory Board for the same period. I will make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second?
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Just in case anyone's wondering, by town law, the clerk has to announce each person's individual vote. Villages can do an all-in-favor thing, but towns can't do that.
As
correct?
much as she would like to say, all in favor?
Yeah, exactly. So we're not trying to be intentionally redundant. Anyway, for the Hazard Mitigation Committee, for the period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/22, Nick Gerald, George Papademetrio, and Lieutenant Joe Rodriguez of the Eastchester Police Department. I'll make that motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is on the Environmental Committee, and this is for the period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/23. Peter McCart, Thomas Carzin, Leonard Marone, Rhonda Gerlomo Miller, Paul Parisi, Peter Telesco, James Luciano, alternate members Peter Costa and Penny Eichmeyer. And it's Geralmo. Sorry, I messed that up, Rhonda. Anyway, we're also appointing, or designating, I should say, Peter McCart as the chairman of the committee for the same period. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is on the Board of Trustees for a pension, of the Police Pension Fund. It's myself, Councilman Dooley, Town Clerk Linda Laird, Councilwoman Nicholson, Councilman Marcoccia, Councilwoman Marcotte, Police Chief Bonsi, and Town Attorney Louis Rada. And that's for a period of 1/1/22 through 12/31/23. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next, we have the adoption of the Rules of Order and Procedure of the Town Board of the Town of Eastchester, and they have been submitted to the board members without modification since our last reorganizational meeting. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next is the designation of the senior town board member, and the senior town board member has been designated as Luigi Marcoccia, and that'll be effective 1/1/22 through December 31st, 2022. Thank you. I'll make the motion and ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. I know it's a little hesitation on that one. Take it over.
Makes me old.
That's right. Okay, next is designation of the town board as the governing body for police matters, and I'll make that motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second?
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next are the designations of town council member liaison designations, I should say, by my office. And in essence, what we've done is we've asked the town board members to specific liaison, among other things, to these various departments and functions. And it's something that we created back in '04, and it's worked out very effectively because the board members, before then, you'd run along with stuff, you learn about everything, but you really weren't, at meetings and completely invested in the department or the assignment. And it's helped us out immeasurably, particularly around budget time and when it comes time to restructuring and consolidating positions and the like. So for myself, I will be handling police, auxiliary police, beautification, Veterans Affairs, the Law Department, and emergency operations. Councilwoman Marcotte has been assigned, or I should say designated, Historical Society, Cable Television Advisory Committee, Special Events, Recreation, Parks and Grounds. Councilman Dooley will be on service groups and organizations, EVAC, Lake Isle, Highway, Sanitation, and Recycling. Councilman Marcoccia has been assigned to Zoning, Planning, ARB, the Building Department, Lake Isle, the Assessor, the Environmental Committee, and Intermunicipal Affairs. Councilwoman Nicholson, the Disability Committee, Seniors, Courts, the Library, Traffic and Parking Advisory Committee, and Website, IT, and Communications. Okay? That's just a designation. We don't need any ratification for that. Next, we have the designation for the official newspaper, and we shall designate the Eastchester Rising as the official newspaper of the town of Eastchester, and the Journal News, or LOHUD, as the secondary official newspaper. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have the designation of authorized signatures and designated depositaries: J.P. Morgan Chase, Ocean First, Sterling, New York Class, People's United, TD Bank, and Signature Bank. And the authorized signatures are the town supervisor, the town controller, and the junior accountant. And that'll be for the financial institutions for the year 2022. All right. Someone can make a motion?
I'll move that.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next is the designation of independent auditors, and we are going to be engaging PKF O'Connor Davies LLP at 500 Mamaroneck Ave in Harrison as the auditing firm for the town. And money has been provided for in our 2022 budget, and the Controller's Office is gearing up because that'll start up in the next couple of weeks. So I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second?
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Yes. Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have the designation of our procurement policy, and this needs the town board's approval. And we have, in essence, kept it all the same, except we just obviously changed the names for those that are on the board. So I'm requesting that Section 7 be updated per the attached procurement policy with regard to the officials, and ask for an approval. All right, I'll make the motion, actually. Ask for a second, I should say.
I'll second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Next, we have the designation of our investment policy, and by municipal law, we have to have an investment policy. This is an updated policy, and we're requesting that the board authorize the same, and also that is in conjunction with our updated authorized bank list. So I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Lastly, is a designation of attorneys for the town of Eastchester and various legal matters, and each firm specializes in different areas of the law, and they are all qualified and experienced attorneys: Biagi and Biagi, Cerruti and Spring, Law Office of Vincent Toomey, Wilson Elzer, Sokoloff Stern, Aldo Vitigliano, Hawkins Delafield and Wood, Miller and Lee, Scalise and Hamilton, Hockerman Tortorella, Ray Belair, and Coughlin and Gerhardt. So I'll make a motion and ask for a second, please.
Second it?
Thank you. Just by way of discussion, these rates that are set forth here are way less than half of what the normal building rates are for these firms. Anyway, so with that being said, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia?
Aye.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita?
Aye. Okay, that concludes our designations, that concludes our swearing-in ceremony, and our next meeting will be on the 18th, which is the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So we will be here ready to rock and roll with a usual agenda, and hopefully, without executive order curtailing our activity here or participation or whatever else. We'll see where this is all going to go, but hopefully, we'll get past this COVID business, although I did see on the news today, there is a new variant in France, UHI or HIU, whatever it is, that's the new thing coming around now, so brace yourselves, I guess we have another thing coming around. But anyway, God bless everybody at home. Thank you to all our board members. That concludes our meeting this evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.